so exciting. I'm Erica. I didn't understand a word that Carolina said about me except for VP. So she better have said really amazing things. No. A little bit more about me before we get kicked off here is that I've been at Salesforce for a long time.
15 years.
15 years. Just about a week ago, I celebrated 15 years at Salesforce. So suffice to say, I've seen a lot of change and growth, and this type of event gives me the chills because I am so proud of everything you've done here, and I feel like I'm a little part of that, and so I just am really excited to be here to share this with you. And I really love attending as many as I can, but I really don't. So kickoffs are so fun when it's a special first ever event in Spain. I just couldn't miss out on that, so thank you. So for today, I am not going to focus on talking about technology. You're going to hear a lot about technology and innovation in all your sessions. So I'm going to talk to you about inspiration and a shift and a movement that we're seeing, and this room is a real good example of that. So let's just jump in. Do I even need this? Oh, no, go back. It's okay. No, but first, we at Salesforce, if you've been to any one of our presentations, we always start off with a thank you. And I truly believe that this is a really important thing to do, especially for this group. As I mentioned, I've been really along the road with the community since almost the very beginning. And so, do I get music now too? Am I going to have to start dancing? Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, really. So I really just wanted to spend some time and thank you. This has been an incredible journey watching community grow at Salesforce, and it really is a true testament to see everyone in the room here today and all the work that's been done to put this type of event on. So in true Salesforce fashion, because I'm a connector, that's what I do. It's my job at Salesforce is building community for you guys to leverage. So I'm going to make you uncomfortable for 5 seconds and make you stand up. And I want you to introduce yourself to the person behind you, because generally you know the person to the left of you. But just do the person to your right and to the person to your back. And just say hello, introduce yourself and your name. So just get up right now and do that. Throughout the day, I want you to get out of your comfort zones. I don't want administrators to talk only to administrators. I don't want developers to only talk to developers. I want you all to meet people here today. That is your goal, is to get out of your comfort zone and meet new people. If you see someone standing alone, and go up to them and introduce them. Bring them into the family. Bring them into this community. So that is your challenge. This was just your warm-up. So do that throughout the day. And then I just wanted to make a special call out because I think we have people flying in from all over the world. So if you have flown in to be at this event today, can you raise your hand? Look at that. You guys look around. That is amazing. This is the power of this community, and what these guys have put on for you today. People are flying in for this event. And this is only just the very, very beginning. So this is going to be even more exciting to watch this grow year over year. Okay, next slide. Wait. So as you can see, you might have heard, or the rumor is rolling around. So I'm doing some of these events all over the globe. I was in Texas, Austin, Texas, in the United States, doing a similar event like this. And I busted out my very first pair of cowboy boots for that event. I've never owned a pair of cowboy boots in my entire life. So I got this beautiful flamenco flower for you that I will wear. And I have a feeling I'm off to Australia after this, and then India, and I have no idea what's in store for me. So we'll have to see. Okay, so let's get rolling. Goodness gracious. You're fired. You're fired. No, you're not fired. Please don't be. So this is what I want to talk to you about today. There is a shift happening. And I don't know if you know it or if you feel it, but it definitely is happening. It's happening at Salesforce, it's happening in the economy, it's happening with all the jobs that are being created around this ecosystem that we have. And what I really thought about when I was thinking about this presentation is it all boils down for us, and what we have are these 4 concepts. And they are bold, trailblazer, Ohana, and equality. And so I want to break down what those mean to us at Salesforce, and then really how you can own these concepts and how you can bring them to your companies or your communities or your life in whatever works for you. And then how hopefully we can inspire you with these concepts. I want to bring forward a couple of amazing community members that I'm going to talk about throughout the presentation, just the work that they're doing to demonstrate all of these concepts. And then I'm going to remind you, if you know about the programs already, or to inspire you and tell you about some of the programs that we have throughout the community that have been started. These programs are started by the community for the community. And we just encourage them and empower them so that they can do this to make you more successful. So I'll remind you, or I'll share with you these programs. And then I want to share with you at the end this concept that's called the Be Bold strategy. So this is something that Sarah Franklin, who runs our Trailhead organization, she presented at another community event called Tahoe Dreaming. This is in California. And it was a really incredible, inspiring way to think about things for me. And so I thought about this, bringing this Be Bold strategy to you, and how you can learn to empower these 3 simple concepts about really, will I change the world, not can I change the world, and not letting fear be any part of a strategy with that. So all these concepts that I'm going to talk about today are things that I want you to take into your heart and take out into your community. Okay, now we can change. Okay, so we're going to start with the first one. So Ohana is generally a word that we use. It's actually a Hawaiian word, and it means family. But at Salesforce, it's something we take very, very seriously. So family at Salesforce historically has been the culture of our employees. So it's been how we treat each other with respect, how we collaborate with one another, how we network with one another. But over the course of the last year or so, or even really more, really Ohana we've brought out to the rest of our community. So now Ohana is part of our employees, as well as our customers, as well as our partners. And we really do treat everybody with equal amounts of respect. So Ohana is really about networking and connecting and collaborating with all of our community members. So this is a concept that, sometimes people giggle about and they think it's funny, but it really truly is at the core of who our company really is. And this goes from all the way to the top of our CEO, all the way down. And it's our number 1 value at Salesforce. Above pretty much everything else is about Ohana. Because if our culture is not strong and our community is not strong, then our company is not strong. So this is something we take very seriously. And so we think that building this and what you guys have done and what we have here today is probably the biggest and most strongest representation of Ohana. And the reality is this community has been around for a little over 10 years, actually. And we've been doing Ohana before Ohana was a thing, even at Salesforce. We've been creating this community and this ecosystem since back then. So this is just at the base of who we are. This is just a word that helps describe that. So a couple of stories that I have that demonstrate Ohana that I think are from the community's perspective is that, so this is a combination of user groups, and you heard that you have some user group leaders among you. The user group program is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I started that program well over 10 years ago. Actually, it's more like 13 years ago. And that program was started by one community member coming to me and asking if he could get together with local people in his area. It happened to be in California at the time. If he could get together with people in his area to talk about Salesforce. And I was like, that's brilliant. Of course I'm going to say yes to that. And so it really started just from one single idea, one single person being able to take the risk and coming to me and saying, can I build a community in my local area? That program now, many, many years later, now has over 600 groups all over the globe. There are 51 countries represented with all of those groups, both developer and user groups and women in tech, and it has exploded. So this is what I want to challenge you to do, is as you're going through the day and as you're listening to sessions or listening to me, think about little ideas that you have, because your culture here is just ready to go. You are on a fast-moving train, and it doesn't have to be some grandiose idea. It's just something little, and it can spark a huge movement. Other concepts that remind me of and demonstrate this Ohana is something also along the lines of our user group program. Do we have any women in tech leaders or women in tech members? Yeah, few. Anyone a member of their user group? Okay, so that is a big thing we gotta work on. Because next year there better be everybody's hands up. Because everyone can get something out of the user group program. It is 100% for you, by you. So this is a great representation that obviously you care about connecting. So everybody needs next year to be raising their hands. So another really interesting thing that happened with our user group program, beyond the one person saying I want to connect with people in my region, is they wanted to create an environment that women could get together and talk about the special interests that they have in technology. Because it's difficult to be a woman in technology still. We're much, much farther along than we've been, but there's still special things that need to be talked about. So one simple concept came again. Can we start groups that talk to women about technology and best practices about that? And then again, what was born as a huge movement. We have a woman named Geraldine Gray started that program. She started it with a silly name called Girly Geeks, and it took off like wildfire. Now we have over 51 groups all over the globe, and they're popping up here as well. And this is something that if you're interested, we encourage it anyway. If you have an interest to do anything like this, we will say yes to these concepts. So this is a very important movement. So these are well over 50 groups that are just women getting together with other women. We now have other special interest groups as well that are popping up all over the globe. So these are just a couple of concepts. Hold on, no, don't switch yet. Don't switch quite yet. So one other thing, before we move to the next slide, as I mentioned, this right here could not be, if you take away nothing about what Ohana is, if you look around this room, this is 100% Ohana. This is you guys getting together to collaborate and learn. This is not an event that Salesforce put on. This is put on by you. Those wonderful individuals in the red shirt took their time and their hard work. I don't know if anyone in this room plans events for a living, but it is hard work. And I'm terrible at it. And when I think that this is not their day jobs, they have jobs. So I want to take just a moment and thank the individuals. So if you are you're probably all sitting right here, take another second and stand up and be recognized by this community for all the hard work that you've done. Pretend I'm throwing you Astro dolls because I had Astro dolls. They're probably floating at customs right now, but we'll get you awesome Astro dolls as our presentation, so thank you. And to hammer home on this point one more time, this also concept of getting together within a region to come together and network also started from one idea. From an individual, his name is Eric Drushfield, and also Josh had this idea too, even farther back, he's here today. And this concept was, we would love everyone to come to Dreamforce. Has anyone come to Dreamforce here? Yeah, it's a lot. That's actually a lot. It's tough. It's tough to get to Dreamforce, obviously, and we want to, and we encourage, and we have an online community, obviously, to keep that going. We've been doing things like streaming Keynote to try to make it more robust, but what Eric came up with was this concept, along with other individuals in the community, to bring this to you. Bring the concept of Dreamforce to the regions. And instead of just being one particular group, bring together many groups in the region to collaborate and come together. So last couple, I can't remember how many years this has been going on now, but last year we had 7 of them around the globe, and this year, just 1 year later, we have 21 of them. So there's these events here, there's a couple in India going on, there's one in Uruguay, there's one in Scotland, and they're all over the US, and so it's incredible to see this momentum of, we know that we can't have everybody coming to Dreamforce. We can't have our center of gravity be the US. It can't be the headquarters in San Francisco. You have to own growing this community and really owning this concept, and we will do everything we can to empower this community. Okay. All right. So the next word. Has anybody heard this word trailblazer yet? Yeah, it's starting to make its way out here. So trailblazer is a newer word for me, but I really love this word. This word is defined, at least by us, as an individual that's a pioneer, who's an innovator, who's a leader, who's a mover and a shaker. These are individuals that are blazing their own trails, and they are bringing other people with them and guiding the way. They're the individuals that are doing good and are really setting the tone for our community. And the reality is all of you are here today, are trailblazers, and you, in your own way, you're blazing your own trails. Because we're out in a region that has such growth and momentum, this is easier to do in the US because there's a lot of support and growth and momentum there too. But you are out here on your own, blazing your own trails. So a couple of different concepts to me that demonstrate this, just to use your own community as an example, is where's Josh? There he is. So Josh and an individual named Jared started this concept. Again, those very simple ideas of just helping individuals answer questions. It's a simple concept. It really sounds simple. And these are, again, individuals that are taking time out of their calendars, out of their time, to get on the phone, and they started what's called MVP office hours. So the MVP program is, we have a couple, how many MVPs do we have here? Holy cow, that's amazing. MVP program rewards and recognizes the most active, the most engaged, the most accessible, and the biggest leaders that we have in our online community, and beyond our community, actually. So these individuals, a couple of them, got together to start this concept called MVP office hours, to just get on the phone and answer questions that you guys have. And it's a demonstration that really is incredible to me, to think that this is a simple concept and people call in. So I want to take just a second and stop talking. I'm going to give the mic to Josh. I'm just going to ask you, what were you thinking about this, and what has this done for the community so far?
Yeah, so it's really been an awesome program, but the reason why I started MVP Office Hours is because there's so many solo admins. How many Salesforce admins are in their office and they're the only person who specializes in Salesforce at their office? Just one person, right? There's 5 times you, there's 5 million of you in the US and across the globe. So the idea was, we have Answers, we have Twitter, right? All of these things are text-based, right? But when you actually want to solve problems, it's best if you can actually have a conversation with someone. Because when you present a problem, people will say, well, did you try this? Did you try this? And then you have to wait for the response. So the concept around MVP Office Hours was that you can call in and you can have a conversation with an expert and with someone who's knowledgeable about that different concept. And so you get real life support, real time. And this was just an idea I had because it was so busy. And I said to myself, wouldn't it be awesome if I could just spare 1 hour every 2 weeks to contribute back to the community? And since then, the program's been transitioned to Jared, Jackie, and Dale, and they meet with everyone. And I believe Carolina. She's done MVP Office Hours in Espanol. We've had a couple of sessions of that. We've also had a couple of sessions in APAC as well. So the session and the growth has been amazing. I think we hit 151 sessions and now we're global. But it was just the idea of giving back to the community and being able to help those people that are just a solo admin in their offices. And it's really done wonders so far for the community.
Thank you. This is what I want you to feel, is that you're not alone. You should never feel like you need to struggle through this world of Salesforce alone. You have an amazing set of individuals that are here to support you, whether you're solo or whether you have 3 admins at your company or you're a solo dev. We have amazing support around here. So another concept that I just learned about that's here in your backyard is an individual that doesn't probably know, well, maybe he knows I'm going to talk about him, but I just think this is such a great demonstration of taking control and being a trailblazer in your own world. Now you have economic crisis going on still, it sounds like, and it's difficult, and skills are difficult. So this is an individual that decided to take charge of their own life and had an unfortunate, lost their business, and heard about a meetup that was going on, heard about these user groups, and connected up and said, I'm going to take control. I'm going to get skilled up, I'm going to get certified, and has now totally changed his life. Where's Jose? There you are, Jose. You're sitting right in front of me. So I told Jose that I was going to talk to him a little bit. He's going to speak in Spanish to you, but there's two individuals that helped Jose, and that's Carolina and where? And Augustina, of course. And he connected up with Augustina and Carolina, and they helped him guide his way. And now he's landed an amazing job as a Salesforce administrator. And I'm going to let him just speak to you for a few seconds about how he made this happen.
Bueno, yo voy a contaros cómo llegué a Salesforce. Yo no venía del sector de aquí, pero desde siempre me había gustado la tecnología y estaba buscando pues entrar dentro de ella. Con ello, siempre para el cliente estaba buscando algo que le diera mayor valor al cliente y de esa forma, a través de una gran amiga que conozco, que es Blanca Galletero, que es account executive de Salesforce, pues me dijo que sí podía conocer el producto de Salesforce y así fue. Comencé a ver qué ofrecía, la verdad es que me encantó. Vi lo que Salesforce podía ofrecer al cliente y los avances que podía tener, y a través de las redes sociales, a través de Twitter concretamente, pues vi que iban a organizar un meetup en Granada, organizado por el grupo de Carolina Luis y Agustina, y pues decidí asistir al meetup, con lo cual me transmitieron la pasión que ellas tienen por Salesforce y fue lo que ya me convenció para dedicarme a Salesforce, por lo cual de forma autodidacta pues me fui preparando. En esos momentos Trailhead no estaba, entonces en pocos meses pues saqué la certificación de administrador y de desarrollador. Eso me dio la oportunidad de entrar a conseguir un puesto de trabajo realizando las funciones de administrador y desarrollador Salesforce y seguir haciendo experiencia y seguir formándome. Pasé 2 años en ese puesto de trabajo, me volví a certificar como consultor de Sales Cloud y pasé a formar parte de un partner de Salesforce. Actualmente, bueno, decir primeramente, yo soy de Alicante, actualmente estoy aquí en Madrid porque estoy trabajando para Mira Digital como consultor técnico de Salesforce. Actualmente he conseguido otra certificación más de Marketing Cloud y solamente agradecer a todas las personas que he nombrado el que yo en estos momentos pueda estar en esta comunidad. Me encanta Salesforce, es mi pasión y quisiera llegar, como ha llegado Eugenio, a ser arquitecto.
Thank you so much. And there are so many stories like that that I get inspired every day. I hear a new story like Jose's, and it's again, it gives me the chills. I really literally have it. I could understand 2 words. I heard passion and certification, but I still have the chills. But I already know the story of this, and so this just keep working and be a trailblazer in your own possible way. There's a couple other people I want to talk about that are not here today, but they are just more examples of resources that you can tap into. Jose talked about certifications. We talked about Trailhead. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But there's 2 other individuals that had a similar concept to Josh's about solo admins. It's really about being maybe more alone in your region, feeling like a lot of people are lucky that they have people all around them that they can tap into. They have user groups everywhere, they have MVPs everywhere, but there's a lot of people that don't. And in those cases, these individuals, their names are James and Sean. They started this program called the Mentorship Program. And this is a program created, again, by the community for you to partner you up with other individuals to give you the skills to really, like what Augustina and Carolina did for Jose. It's even a more formal program. They created, of course, an amazing app that connects you based on you needing to get skilled up and partnering you up with a mentor. I think they're up to close to 150 matches when it comes to mentors. So this program is just hitting stride, and it's there for you. There's a presence on the Success community, and you can visit the group, and I'll send out all of this information afterwards so you can have access to all these resources. But this program is just for their opportunity to give back so that nobody feels alone, that you can get partnered up with a mentor. And this goes for whether you want to be a mentor or whether you want to be a mentee. Because are you going to come away from this as going to be a learner? Are you going to be a teacher? What do you want to be? But really, we're asking that you be something. Try to think about how you can empower this concept of trailblazer and either work on it yourself personally or give back to other individuals that are trying to do this all around you. All right, so let's go ahead and skip to the next slide there. Yep. User error. Okay, here we have Trailhead. So Trailhead is amazing. We have our Trailhead experts in the back, and we have, I'm sure, a lot of really amazing Trailhead experts here. Trailhead is our way of making learning fun and learning how to use Salesforce in a really hands-on, interactive way. And it has been the foundation of the transformation that Salesforce is going through. And the Trailblazers and Trailhead have really changed the way we do our business at Salesforce. It is not something, it is not about Astro dolls and Cody the bear. It is really about learning and making learning accessible and making learning free in many cases and making it something that you can do to help transform your life. You can take trails that help you be a better storyteller, and you can take super technical badges to become skilled up like Enrico here. But we have a ton of different amazing badges that you can take. So let's take a second. While I would love, because I think the best person that talks about this is our CEO, Mark Benioff, and I don't have a lot of pull to be bringing Mark Benioff here today. I would love to do that. But unfortunately, he's not here today. But he demonstrated this concept and this shift that's going on and this movement that's happening with developers and admins all over the globe and creating such a huge momentum and change for our economy and jobs. And he talked about it with Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer is a technical expert, and you may have heard of him. He's really the best in the best, and he talked to Mark on his show, and so I thought we'd just let him share with this video to have him demonstrate it to you perfectly.
Well, I thought it was very interesting. I read a piece about a fellow, Zach Otero, and this kind of defines...
That's an amazing story.
I want you to tell it, because for every one person who understands what you're about to tell me, there's 5 who say technology just wipes out jobs, so I wish it would just move back and not be so progressive.
Well, this is something that I'm really fixated on, which is we've built this incredible new service called Trailhead. You can see it at trailhead.com, and you're interested in a new job, you want to build new skills, you want to have one of the top paying jobs in the country. You go to Trailhead, you get trained on Salesforce. We build a one-on-one relationship with you. We make sure you have those skills. We certify you, badge you, and introduce you to those employers that are using Salesforce. That's very exciting.
Is that scalable? And did you tell the president about that? I know that the president, Gary Cohn, I know for a long time, he's deeply concerned that technology could hurt jobs. Obviously doesn't necessarily think that, but I want to know how commonplace the Zach stories are.
Well, technology is a continuum. It's constantly getting lower cost and easier to use, and you see that. And that's true with our company. We're rolling this product into so many companies, hundreds of thousands of companies all over the world. How do we bring in all the jobs behind it? Salesforce is only successful inside one of our customers if there are Salesforce administrators and Salesforce developers. And of course, there's going to be the Accentures and the Deloittes and the systems integrators. Right. But what you really want is all these great entrepreneurs and developers and people who are looking to move from being a factory worker, like Zach. He was a factory worker.
Right. And no college.
And then he retrained himself using the technology. And I just heard about this great story of a minister in Australia, did the same thing, was tired of being a minister, wanted a different job, trained himself on Trailhead, and is now with one of our customers. And this idea that we can take hundreds of thousands, which we've done so far, and scale it to millions and move them into a new workforce, this is really critical because Salesforce is a platform.
Right.
That means you can build and create and extend and grow and do all these incredible things.
Now, speaking of Salesforce, the actual physical construct, when I came in the airport trying...
We'll give you that link so you can watch the entire thing if you're interested. And you can hear it directly from him. So this is our CEO, Mark Benioff, and I know him pretty well because of this community that we built. He didn't know me until he learned about the Zaccateros of the world and that there are hundreds of Zaccateros in the world. And he is extremely, extremely passionate about this concept. And this is not a new concept to him, and it's not a new concept to us. It's just now seeing the momentum and the movement that's going on throughout our entire company to rally around this type of change that's happening. So before I move on to the next slide, I want to take a little poll here. And again, I have swag. I have stuff for you, but it's not going to be here, so we're going to take names and I'll give it to you later. But if you have, we're going to talk about Trailhead now. If you have 10 badges on Trailhead, can you stand up? Stand up if you have 10 badges. Good. Whoa, that's exciting. All right. Okay. Remain standing if you have 25 badges. All right. All right. Remain standing if you have 50 badges. Wow, look at this. All right. So I have something for everybody that's standing, but so I'm going to make sure, can we somehow... Yeah, we'll take your names down, and I'm going to give you some special stuff. Hopefully it will arrive before you leave, if not. Now, remain standing if you have 100 badges. Nice! Yes! That is awesome. What is your name? What is it? Jonathan. Okay, so Jonathan is what's called a ranger. And, is there another one in the back? Are you ranger too? Nice. What's your name? Nice. Another ranger. Oh, another one. Oh, Fabian. Three. So these are rangers, and it is an incredible. It's an incredible achievement. I don't want to tell you how many badges I have. It's embarrassing, but. 100 badges is amazing, and we're continuing to evolve this. We also follow the same program internally, encouraging our own employees to get this, and you wouldn't believe there's so many more community rangers. So thank you to the rangers, and I always get the word wrong for the 50. It's expeditioner. That's the people that have 50. I made a fool of myself when I called it something a little bit different. But that's incredible. So encourage you, what I want to think about next year, because I want to come here next year, I'd love to try, is how many people are, you don't have to raise your hand, but just in your mind, how many more rangers are we going to have? Are we going to double that number? Are we going to triple that number? How many more 50? How many more 25? It's really, really simple and a lot of fun. Okay. Yeah, look for somebody in a red shirt. We're going to take down your name. And I should have a box of stuff that's arriving today, so we'll get you some stuff. Okay, we'll flip to the next slide. Next two more. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the one of the last concepts, which is equality. Equality is another very, very important concept to us at Salesforce, and it's really about giving opportunities to everybody. And it's not just thinking about it's education, equal opportunity, equal rights, and equal pay. So these are all concepts that are extremely important to us. And there's a couple, of course, I want to talk about community and how they impacted. So there's an individual, her name is Stephanie Herrera, and she started a program. She has a very, very moving, amazing story where her family were cotton pickers. And she also wanted to figure out how to make her life better. So she got herself skilled up on Salesforce, and now she's giving back. And she created this concept where they're doing Salesforce on Saturdays. So this blows my mind. Already, you're here, you're taking time out of your day to be together. People take time, instead of going home with their families, to meet up with people in their region. And now these are individuals meeting on Saturday. And because it's hard to get time to do this, so she created this program called Salesforce Saturdays, and she's extended it now globally, and she's also extended it to veterans. These are individuals that are coming in from their tours, and they're trying to change their life. They're trying to take something new, some new skills. So she's doing that with veterans as well. It's absolutely an amazing, amazing story. Another concept that's really exciting to me about equality is an individual named Annie Sheck Mason, who created this concept of Trailhead for All. These are little concepts, they're just ideas. She had this idea that wouldn't it be fun to teach Trailhead to a community, take it out to the community, take it out to nonprofit, take it out to schools. So now, again, this is taken off, and she has, before she even basically launched this concept, individuals are signing up to do this. And there's any number of ways to do this. Bringing it to your local kids' school, bringing it to a school if you're in school, to your local community events. I mean, really the concepts are just bringing learning out to the community and being able to do that. And we have these programs and these people that have done this already that can swarm around you and help you. All right. I'll end on this, the next slide, which is about being bold. I told you about this concept of being bold. So this is something I think that everybody needs to think about what their strategy is when it comes to being bold. So this concept came from, like I said, Sarah Franklin, who heads up our Trailhead organization. She has her own story about what her evolution was about when she was bold. And so I was thinking about this, about what is my be bold concept. So of course I flashed back to my starting points at Salesforce. So probably no one in this room knows that I started Salesforce 15 years ago in the education world. I set up and created the admin workshop program. So basically I was creating programs and workshops for administrators to set up and configure Salesforce. This is before we had even a dashboard. This is before we had campaigns, some of the core pieces of functionality. So I could not do this now. You are far smarter than me, but this was where I started my evolution. And so what I saw even back then, we had very few classes. People flew in to San Francisco to take this admin workshop from all different types of industries, large and small, and they sat in the classroom and they talked to each other. And they had to create a business. That was the admin workshop. You started a business and you customized it till it was completely ready to go to roll out. That's the concept of this workshop, still is today. And then what happened was they shared so much information day after day, and then they left. And I thought, this is crazy. How are they having this such amazing experience in this classroom, and then they get up and leave? And so this was a thought, but I was brand new at Salesforce. I had to gain some momentum and some skills, so I sat on this idea for a while. I taught hundreds of classes. In fact, when I was out in Texas, in the US doing this, I had one of my, there was a student in my class that had been in my class almost 14 years ago. So I was at this for a while. And so then, Caroline, you can go to the next slide. The next one is, I heard this concept of not can I change the world, but how will you change the world? This doesn't need to be some crazy, crazy concept, but this resonated with me, and I thought, well, I have this ability. I have these admin workshops I've been teaching. I've got to think about how am I going to make a difference at Salesforce? How am I going to make a difference in our community's life? So I took the concept of can I and just changed it to will. And everybody can do this. Just think about how will you change the world. One more slide. So then one of the things that stops you when you have a concept, whether it's big or small, is that there's fear. Well, I was scared to death about this concept. I thought it was cool. I thought it was going to work. I thought creating an environment where at least just starting administrators could get together and collaborate with one another was a good idea, but I was scared that people were going to laugh at me. That's the reality. You don't want people to laugh at you. You want to think that you have an amazing, amazing idea. So it took me about 4 or 5 years to bring up this concept. I brought it up with our chief marketing officer, and he didn't laugh, but he definitely wasn't extremely supportive. He's a very tough guy. And he said, well, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, but because community wasn't a thing. This is 10 and a half years ago. But he's like, give it a go. You've been at Salesforce for a while, and give it a try, and we'll see if it's successful. So that was my first big hurdle, was putting my fear of being laughed at aside. So then the next slide, which I'll end on, is that there's this great quote, which is be the change you want to see in the world. So now I look around and more chills is that I see this happening all over the globe. And we've all done this together. And if I can take that one little movement to say to my CMO, let's try this community thing out. We have 2.6 million community members. We have 3 million developer community members. We have 690 user groups. We have 51 countries represented. This is the kind of crazy momentum and movement that we can be part of. So I just want to leave you with that concept. Think about these things. How will you change the world? Put your fear aside when you're making that decision and really be the change right here today. So thank you guys, and I'll hopefully see you throughout the conference.
We wanted to say thank you, Yole. We realized that last May was your 15th anniversary in Salesforce, so congratulations. We'll give you a present.
I love it. Wine. I love wine.